water garden is fundamentally an aquarium where the gardener needs to manage the pH, nutrients, and organisms introduced into the system.
Just because a plant or animal is invasive doesn't mean it can't be ordered and delivered to your door or purchased locally. The plants we are looking at are water hyacinth and water lettuce. Some plants or animals you will introduce into your garden, others will introduce themselves. While holding the plants in this pan, a green frog moved into this small water feature. This will probably happen in your water garden too. Water hyacinth and water lettuce are considered invasive because of their ability to grow rapidly and form extremely dense mats on the water surface. They're a problem further south in Texas, Florida, and the Carolinas, although they have been found as far north as Tonawanda, New York. The plants I have were purchased from a local nursery with no tags or genus species designation. These plants were floating in a large pan, lifted out and placed into a plastic bag. They did not come alone. You can see things in the bottom of the pan. Some duckweed accompanied the order. There is a non-native duckweed that we don't need to spread, but you may not want to introduce the native duckweed into your water garden either. Unwelcome hitchhikers may accompany a mail order purchase, most of which will be found tangled in the roots or adhered to the leaves or stems. University of Minnesota research demonstrated that 93% of plants ordered contained hitchhikers. Of those, 10% were federally or state-listed noxious weeds, and 18% of the plants that were actually ordered were misidentified. Some of the plants or animals received were known to be invasive or prohibited in the state. Invasive organisms are often part of plant orders in the shipping medium or used for packing, or even the plants themselves that were ordered. Watch for animals like snails or egg masses or other plant fragments attached to your plant roots. If it seems likely that the plant has attached hitchhikers, you can clean emergent types of plants, for example arrowhead, with a bleach solution. You want to dip the plants in a 10% chlorine solution. That's 1 cup of bleach to 9 cups of water. Swish it around and shake it off. Rinse in tap water after 30 seconds. This method should not be used on submerged plants like Elodea. These plants don't look so dirty, so we're going to rinse these in a light-colored pan of clear tap water until they're clean before planting, and dispose of any packing materials or water shipped with the plants. Be sure to inspect the roots for other plant fragments or egg masses. Solid materials can be frozen or thoroughly dried and then disposed of in the household trash or burned where this is legal. Solid material should not be composted since seeds can survive drying and freezing. Water should be used in the garden as long as it's well away from natural water bodies and not raining. Otherwise, dispose of it in the sanitary sewer, since storm drains may be connected to local streams. Now here we're going to inspect our plant roots. We're going to look for egg masses. These seem fairly clean. And we're going to begin the swish process. You can see there's all kinds of material in the pan. We're dumping the water. If we keep all our water together, we can dispose of it all at once. And we're going to clean these plants 2 or 3 times, kind of rinsing the pan in between to make sure that we've gotten anything out of there that might have come off the plant. And we're going to keep on washing. I just have a watering can of clear tap water there so that I can take the plants, fill the pan, swish them around, return them to the water. We have some plant roots coming off. We don't have to worry about those particularly. We'll just discard them. They'll be fine. And if we do this, the pan of water will get progressively cleaner. We can see what isn't in the pan. And we'll soon have our plants ready to go into our garden, all nice and clean, without hitchhikers. This plant came with some other hitchhikers. You're going to want to take care to remove any plants you don't recognize from the potting medium. This is a pitcher plant. It came with planting instructions and some identification, so that's a good thing. You want to pay particular attention to the hardiness zone. This is a native to Pennsylvania, although this particular cultivar is not necessarily as hardy. It's only hardy from zone 7 to 10. Now, I'm going to inspect this plant, and you can see that some things have already germinated. There are other plants that obviously are not this one in the pot. We're going to remove those now. We're going to be careful to inspect all the area around the plant, and we're going to pull out these little weeds that we've found growing. You can see them here. We're going to try to get them roots and all, so we'll be very careful to remove them from the medium. If the medium is particularly dirty, you can remove the peat moss and repot the plant. And I would recommend that. So we're going to pull them carefully, roots and all. And now we will have a plant ready to put into the garden. Now this plant likes wet feet and dry ankles, so we're going to move the plant to another pan and see what's been growing in the pan while we've been waiting to put it into our garden. And it's obvious that some plants have grown. There's a clump of algae here. Now, this may have been something that blew in naturally, or it may be something we want to remove. But in any case, we're going to get.
Now the plant is ready to go into the garden. If plants remain in the water garden and are properly disposed of at the end of the season, they shouldn't cause a problem. However, gardeners should never release anything to our waters or wild areas. Natural water bodies are also vulnerable from water gardens because of flooding. Any hardy non-native plant or animal may become the next invasive species. So our suggestion is to use native plants or animals whenever possible.